Okay, welcome to your first video module. This first video will be a very introductory course on how to use Training Peaks. We will discuss specifically what the calendar view looks like, how to select workouts, how to design workouts from templates, and how to design workouts on your own. In a future podcast, we will deal with the dashboard. We'll also deal with analysis and how to set up your athlete zones. So the first thing you're going to always do is come under Login. And you click the Login button. It'll obviously ask for your credentials. You'll log in. What you will see tonight is my personal Training Peaks account. Yours might look slightly different. You do have the ability to go in and customize everything. The first thing I want to call your attention to is you have two different views. First, you have a calendar view and you have a dashboard view. You will probably do 95% of your work in the calendar view, and as I mentioned a moment ago, we'll have an opportunity to discuss what the dashboard is and how to use it. The second thing you'll note is it always shows you who is pulled up right here. And then finally, here is your date and the month in which you're looking at. You can scroll to any month, either forward or back, or whatever year if you need to pull up past data. The first thing that you'll do is you'll begin to select your athlete that you want to work on, and that will be located over here on the left side. On the left column, you have three different icons. The first one is the athlete library, second is the workout library, and last is the training plan library. To select your athlete, you click the athlete library. And in my case, I go under Andrew, and here are all my personal clients. So for instance, tonight, let's work specifically on Scott Schwartley. For Scott, you're going to click on his name. It'll show you off to the side everything about him, and we're going to hit load. When you hit load, Scott's training will then appear inside the calendar view. The calendar view is very simple, and it's blocked off Monday through Sunday. You have the option to have as many weeks that you want viewed at a time, between I believe 2 and 4. You can control that over here in the right hand column and go to a compact view, or if you want to have many weeks at a time, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you wanted to step back a little bit more and see a big picture of everything, you have that opportunity to do that. I prefer to leave it into the compact view because I'm often only working 2 to 3 weeks at a time. You've probably used Training Peaks before, so you may or may not be familiar with some of the summary data that's listed off to the right. For each week, it'll give you a summary of what has been completed and what has not been completed. Currently, it's set up to show you total duration for the week, the swim duration, the swim distance, the bike duration, and the run duration. It'll also give you your training stress score for the week, your bike mileage, and your run mileage. The bars are currently just showing you the progress that the athlete is making towards meeting that goal. So for instance, Scott last week completed 2 hours and 10 minutes out of 5 hours and 40 minutes. Again, as we talk about the dashboard and analysis, we'll talk a little bit more in depth about these types of things. So what I want to call your attention to is just how to place workouts into the calendar view. So if I scroll ahead to a clean week, if I wanted to look, for instance, at the week of June 1st, we'll start there. First thing you're going to do is you're going to come over to the little folder and launch your workout library. As you can see, the workouts are organized into about 13 different groups. You should have a document called Training Peaks Glossary that will go into a little bit more in-depth information on what's located in each of these workouts. The more and more you use them, the more and more self-explanatory you'll realize that they are. If you are new to Training Peaks and new to coaching, a lot of this is going to seem like a foreign language, and that is because it kind of is. It really is the mastermind of what goes on in my head that I then create workouts from. I do recommend all coaches have their own library. You can name it Coach's Library or Andrew Library, and that's a good place for you to store all the workouts that you personally write. But hopefully what we've done over time is we've developed enough workouts that you're not having to create your own workouts very often. So if I look at Scott's week ahead, we're looking at the week of June 1st. The first thing I will do is I will also launch Scott's ATP in the Microsoft Excel document. I personally like to work off 2 screens, so I always have the ATP pulled up on my laptop when I'm working in Training Peaks. And that helps me to prevent me from having to toggle back and forth between too many screens. So if I know, for instance, that I'm giving him a set of plyometrics and core work, then the chances are it's going to be repeated down here. Again, I will use my ATP to confirm that. But what I want to do is when I go to build his week is I'm going to want to put the next series of the basic plyometrics workout into his training calendar. Now I know where these happen to be. They happen to be in strength-based workouts. And I can see right here that I gave him basic plyos plus core 1B, and here's basic plyos core 1C. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that down and I'm just going to drag it over and drop it. And as you can see, it appears. I will do the same thing for the rest of his next week. So for instance, if I know that he's staying in the base phase of swimming, then I might go up to my swim endurance workouts, and I see that he did B12 and that he did 2,000 yards, then I might come down and find B13. Most of your workouts will have some commonality between the names. For instance, the swims are in pretty sequential order. They are grouped by how far the distance is. I might also come over here and say, okay, with Scott, I've been focusing on a little bit of technique work. In that case, I'm going to go to my technique folder, swim technique and skills, and I can see that I gave him pool 1A last time. So I might scroll down to the pool series, and I see that I have a 1B. I'm going to drag and drop that right there. He has a rest day on Fridays. What I'm going to do here is you can actually copy and paste, and this is very helpful for just using templates that you've already used before. If you click in the right-hand column, it says copy, cut, delete, hide, or lock. In this case, I just want to copy it, and I want to paste it right here. So as you can see, I've already built out an hour and 40 total time of Scott's week. I also know, for instance, that Scott needs to run this week, and we might keep this on Monday, and we might keep it around 35 minutes. So I might copy and paste it there. But here's a case where I'm making up something for Scott specifically. Knowing him and knowing where his workouts are, he might not have the capabilities of doing a workout, or just might not be ready for one of the workout templates. In this case, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click the plus sign, and it's going to say, do you want to add a workout? In this case, yes, I want to add a bike. It's going to ask me what the title of the workout is. The title is really not important. It's just an opportunity for you to offer some type of descriptive terminology for both you and the athlete. So in this case, we might just continue to call it tempo ride. The next thing is you're going to pick the duration of his event. In this case, I want him to ride for an hour, so I might put 1. You can also come in and put 60, and it will convert it over. And then you come over to the description box, and you give him his instructions. So in this situation, I might just want to say, I want Scott to ride for 20 minutes at 70% or zone 2. And then I want him to perform 3 by 10 minutes at 80% or zone 3 with 3 minutes of recovery. And then I'll give him a cool down of 10 minutes easy riding. And in this case, then you're just going to add it up and make sure we get close to an hour. It doesn't have to be perfect. I like to be within a couple minutes for riding. Swimming, it varies depending on the athlete's speed. Most of the runs end up being dead on because you can pick that a little bit easier. So then we'll come down and click OK, and as you can see, boom, there it is. The other thing you can do is you can go in and edit particular workouts. If I wanted to edit this workout, I click on the workout, and then I have the option to come in here and edit it. So if I wanted to give Scott, in this case, 6 by 150s, then I could do that, and I just need to come over here and make sure I add in 300 more yards. And then I click OK. Lastly, one thing you can also do is if you mess up, you have the option over here in the far right column to delete the whole entire week. You can cut the whole week. So if I wanted to cut that week and I wanted to put it down here, I can do that. I can also come in and say, well, you know what, I forgot Scott this week needs to have his rest day here on Wednesday instead of Friday. You have a couple options. One, you can just drag it over and swap them out. Or you could come in and shift. It'll ask you, do you want to select the items that you want to move? Do you want to move to a specific day, move to a start day, and move by number of days? If I just wanted them to move one day, then I will just move them over. And move the workout for that particular day over. If I wanted to shift them all, then I will hold down Shift and I will click on all the different days, and then I can shift them as a block. Finally, the only other thing that you might need to know is sometimes you will choose to work ahead for a week. You have the option to hide the workouts from the athlete. Again, on the far right column, you can click the hide button and you'll see that it comes up and gives a little icon of an eye with a slash through it. In this case, you as the coach have the master account. You can see this, but this is not viewable by the athlete. But you do have to remember to come in later when you're ready to give this to the athlete and click on hide. So that is a basic primer on how to use TrainingPeaks. Again, the TrainingPeaks library is organized in such a way that you should be able to go in and find, for instance, a run speed workout very quickly, drag it over, put it in, and move on. The goal is to not be spending all your time in TrainingPeaks. You want to become very efficient here, especially on the planning side. You want to have more time in TrainingPeaks to do the analysis than the planning. If you have done your ATP, then TrainingPeaks should be very easy. Like I said, we will talk in the next episode a little bit more about analysis and the importance of the dashboards.